Hello, YouTube. It's Hunt, back with another episode of Tabletop Recap. We also have Big Boy Chungus here.
Hello.
And today we're doing a D&D review. I guess this is technically our first Dungeons & Dragons review. But we are going to review the tabletop role-playing game adventure Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty. Yeah, so it's time for Rick to roll. Grab your pencils and lose your mind. So Rick makes a dungeon. Apparently there's a version of Rick called Gygax Rick, who is like the ultimate dungeon master. And the DM actually plays Rick in this adventure. But it's more than just an adventure. It's basically a starter set.
Yeah.
Because you get a 64-page rule book, and the rule book, like, it's a serious rule book, but then there are also little blurbs from Rick in there where he makes fun of the rules. And then the Lost Dungeon of Rickedness, Big Rick Energy, a 44-page original adventure that's exclusive to the set. You get a Dungeon Master screen. You get 5 pre-generated character sheets and 11 dice, and the dice are like Rick and Morty portal colors, which is really cool. So we're going to go down the list and talk about each thing in the box and what we think of it. I don't think you read the rulebook. You didn't really need to. I read it simply because I paid for it.
And you were DMing it.
So I read the rulebook mostly for Rick's annotations. They were funny, I guess. But yeah, it's just a basic rulebook for new players. The real reason for this set is it's to get Dungeons & Dragons players into Rick and Morty and Rick and Morty viewers into Dungeons & Dragons. They made this because they had 2 very successful comic book crossovers, which I have yet to read. I read the Rick and Morty ongoing comic book. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of it. It's really funny. But I haven't read those crossovers. I've read all the other miniseries except those crossovers. I've read all the other ones. Yeah, we forgot to roll for initiative. You just reminded me when you sneakily handed me a dice.
17.
4.
I'm going to defer.
Yeah, that was so pointless.
It's a tradition.
That was so pointless. Sorry, it's kind of getting late, so we're trying to make sure we get through this, and I just forgot about it. But yeah, the rulebook's just basically a rulebook for people who are just now starting. And I'm going to save the dungeon itself for last, because it's going to be what we talk about the most. And then I got the DM screen, and I really like the DM screen. Don't
Very
you?
animated. Yeah, it's like a screenshot of straight out of a Rick and Morty episode or comic strip.
Yeah, it's like this. It's just like a big mural of Rick and the gang in their D&D personas fighting all these different monsters. There's like bugbears, giant spider, goblins. There's a spectator in there. Some zombies. It's pretty cool. But the thing I actually like most about it is that it's short.
Very short. It's meant to be a one-off.
No. The screen is short.
Oh.
Because we're talking about the DM screen right now, and it's because your DM screen is twice the height of this one.
Yeah,
and
the main reason why it's that high is because on the inside it's got lots of like stats and rules and stuff on the inside.
Well, so does mine.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So does the Rick and Morty one, but it's just long. It's not tall, so that made it so I didn't have to stand up every time I wanted to move a mini or something. I could just reach over it, which they probably didn't do that on purpose. It's probably just small so that they could fit it within the budget of the box set. But that actually turned out to be really helpful. And then there's the 5 pre-generated character sheets. I'm actually going to let you tell me more about them because I never played with any of them. You and G did.
Yeah, I especially played with the most of them.
Yeah, because like you guys went through all those character sheets because you kept dying.
Yeah, you're right. So, if I can remember correctly, all of the characters are based off of Rick and Morty characters.
Except for Meatface.
Yeah, Meatface is the only original one, and I think he might have been in one of the comic books.
If he was in the comic book, I don't know it. I honestly don't know because I haven't read them.
So, I don't remember the names of the characters, but Rick's
the dungeon master.
Okay,
he doesn't have a character.
Even though he's featured on the mural, he's not actually a playable character.
Yeah, Morty was like a half-orc rogue.
Yeah, half-orc rogue.
Beth was like a half-elf cleric. Jerry was like a half-elf wizard.
Yeah, and then
Summer was a fighter. Meatface was a fighter.
No, Meatface was a barbarian.
No, Meatface was a fighter.
Was he? I thought he was a barbarian.
No.
Yes, you're right. I believe the first character I chose to play was, I think it was Morty.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Morty because G was playing his meat face.
Yeah, and then if you listen to the podcast, you've already heard that story and telling of the dungeon run. But we went through one character after another, and eventually we wound up losing because we just weren't taking it seriously.
Yeah, but then we added Connor to the lot, and you guys got through it.
Yeah, we also used some
You
pre-made characters for that.
Yeah, we didn't use the pre-made ones the second time. They just used their regular characters right when we got out of the Sunless Citadel. Because my character left because I was getting burnt out, and then I was like, I need to DM this Rick and Morty thing because unless I run through the whole thing, it's not worth it. And then you and G metagamed at the beginning, but then once it got past the point where you didn't know what was happening, it was fun. Then there's also a dice set. It's a D4, a D12. You get 2 D10, a percentile one, and a regular one. 4 D6, a D8, and of course a D20. They're Rick and Morty portal colors. They're really good. They roll well for me. I don't know if they're balanced or not, because that's a waste of salt.
Who cares? Unless you're rolling nat 20 after nat 20, I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah, but now we're going to get to the big part, the part you all actually are waiting to hear about. The adventure itself, D&D, The Lost Dungeon of Rickedness, Big Rick Energy. It's basically just a dungeon crawl that Rick wrote. So all the block text that you have to read to the players is all like in character for Rick. Except for this one part towards the end where someone replaces Rick as Dungeon Master and you have to do this dumb thing and then Rick comes back in the end. I cut half that out when I ran it. Like, Rick is supposed to come help you guys in the end, but he's like a god that can't be killed. So it's just giving you the ending.
Yeah.
I just cut that. I let you fight the Green Dragon by yourself.
Yeah.
He was within your CR. You should have done better.
I did just fine. For whatever reason, he kept wanting to target Connor.
I was going in order. The dragon had 3 attacks. I was going boom, boom, boom. 1 for each of you.
Okay.
But yeah. What did you think of the adventure?
I thought it was fine. I thought that, and this is probably just because I've been spoiled with a lot of homebrews and some of the other stuff, I felt like some of the descriptions of the dungeon areas were a little bit bare in some parts. Like, it felt like literally you were just in a stone room with maybe a few pieces of furniture and some living creatures.
Yeah, it's just basic dungeon crawl stuff. I actually thought it was just okay as well. Because, I mean, obviously it's a comedy dungeon.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was as funny as it was supposed to be.
No, in fact, some parts I thought were kind of annoying. Like, I know this is probably just because of me being me, but the room with all of the little Morty goblins and the gems really ticked me off.
And that's just because you guys were stupid.
It was still kind of annoying, although you were role playing the Morty goblins pretty well.
Thank you. I think I do a pretty good Morty. But there's one thing about this. If you haven't already watched a ton of Rick and Morty, you're not even going to get the jokes. Because half the jokes are references. The Spectator is the show me what you got head. Mm-hmm. There's Pirates of the Pancreas. And like there are a bunch of just references to the show that where if you haven't watched the show and this is your first exposure to that, then you're just not going to understand the rooms. And I also think that relying on references, the more you rely on references, the cheaper the writing is. Mm-hmm. Now, it didn't rely as heavily on references as I'm saying. Like, there were lots of original rooms. My favorite room was the writer's room, where it's just the woman who's writing the module, in the room writing, and you bug her, and then she puts you in a trap if you don't leave her alone to write. That was a really fun meta room that I really liked. Did you have a favorite room?
The owlbear room.
Oh.
No, not really. That was not a favorite. I just said that because I knew I'd get a reaction out of you.
Yeah, bestiality happened in the owlbear room when we played. That's why I'm like, jeez.
Okay. Actually, there is a room that I really, really like. It's the room with all of the miniatures and the smaller version of the dungeon.
Oh, where you can get the magic missile one.
Yeah, the one where you can take like the monster minis and your own character minis. They can like interact, and I like that room because even though it doesn't actually give away any secrets of the dungeon, it kind of gives you an idea about what dangers could be ahead.
Yeah, it's a foreshadowing room for sure.
Like they even had a green dragon that it shows you what might happen if you put your minis in with one of the monsters.
Yeah, you remember G got that wand, and it's not like a regular magic missile wand because it's like the size of a toothpick.
Yeah, in fact, one of the stat abilities of it is that if you put it in your bag, you have a 1 out of 20 chance of losing it.
Yeah, if you roll a nat 1 when you put it in your bag, like you have to roll to see if you break it or lose it. And G used it. He used all 7 charges, and he threw it away. And I was like, "You can
That
get
recharges.
those." Yeah, we were like, "That recharges, dude." And he was like, "Oh no!" And then he was looking for it, and he rolled a pretty good perception to find it. And then after his first use of the wand, rolled a 1 to put it away and snapped it in 2 on his fingers. Very first time using it. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
There was also, I like the room where the goblins were daring each other to eat gold coins.
That was a funny little room. That's one of my favorite rooms as well.
What was also the deal with the room that had the orc family celebrating Orcmas?
Okay, you guys you went out of order, so you didn't get the full joke. The door where they're eating the meal and celebrating, that room has 3 doors that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
2 of which you can come from and 1 you exit out of. So you went the wrong way because it's not a straight shot dungeon. And you have to... You're supposed to go to the room where they're getting presents ready first and then go there, so you guys only got half the joke. And that was kind of weird. They should have forced you to go through the present room first.
That was kind of awkward.
Yeah, there's actually... Here, I got a list of all the rooms and stuff right here. First, there's an introduction and how to run the adventure. And then the Lost Dungeon of Wickedness has a general features, leveling up, and what if they die section. Then there's a Sturge room, which you did horribly in the first time for some reason. Just against just Sturge.
2 Sturges nearly TPK'd the party.
It was insane. You guys just couldn't hit them. It was so weird.
You ever seen that clip? I think it was from like one of the it's some Tom Cruise movie where he's like a ex-CIA agent or something, and he's in the bathroom tub cowering, and there's 2 guys with baseball bats and axes who are just trying to kill him, and they just keep having their weapons bounce off the side of the tub and the counter, and they're stumbling over each other, and it's like what a D&D fight looks like when the dice don't want to cooperate with you.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like he's just sitting in a tub, and he's a sitting duck, could be easily killed, but these 2 hitmen just can't coordinate. It's like they keep rolling nat 1s.
Yeah, the next room is the Goblin room, the Statue room, the Magic Mouth room, which I really wanted to roleplay. You never made it there. It's like a riddle in the mouth the whole time you're thinking of the riddle goes.
I would have no.
Ladle.
I would have left. My character would have been like, nope, click.
Another Goblin room, Treasure room, third Goblin room, the Writer's room. That's my favorite one. Pickle room. The first time you played it and you went through the Lycanthro pickle room, which is just a big Pickle Rick reference. Mm-hmm. You left G to die in that room.
I did.
You're a horrible brother. But then there's the Butt room, which you went to, I think.
Yeah, we did.
The Orca gift room, which you missed. The Festive dinner room. The Mage room. The Sinech...
Let me see.
What's that word? Right there.
Synodoc? Or Synecdoc?
That sounds right. SYNECDOCHE room. Buttless zombie room. Mini doors room. Wizard room. Meeseeks room. You didn't go there either. You could have got a Meeseeks box as a D&D item.
Ooh, that's handy.
Yeah. But it... Once you use it like 20 times or something, it's destroyed.
Still.
But yeah, Meeseeks box. They can't help in combat, though.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
Yeah. I wanted you guys in that room. I wanted to roleplay Mr. Meeseeks so badly. And you guys just wouldn't go that way. The Evil Clock room. The Goblin room. Bathroom room. Tommy Two Butts room. You had some fun in there.
Several times.
Why did you kill him? Commercial room. Ooze Cult room.
which we did that.
That's the room that TPK'd you the first time.
Yeah.
Pirate room, Clone room, Heavy Door room, Swifty room, Mimic room.
We did the Mimic room.
Yeah.
That one was weird.
Yeah, everything was a mimic in the room. Virus room, Lever room, Chapel of the Buttless room, Nothic room, Frankie Freem's room, Treasure Treats room, Nice Butterfly room, Fun Skeleton room, Mama Owlbear room. Don't. Stop.
I didn't say anything.
The boss room, and then there's a conclusion. In the back of the book, there's also an appendix for magic items, how to use them in their descriptions, an appendix for creatures with stat blocks and descriptions. And, which room was it that I was thinking of? I don't really think I got to do the Nothic room. Yeah, there were good rooms. The pirate room you guys had trouble on. He asked you an elementary school level riddle, and you guys didn't even try to answer it. You just attacked.
What was that riddle again?
So if you have a barrel full of gold, right, and it weighs like a ton or whatever, I'm just trying to remember the riddle off the top of my head, and you put something in it and then it weighs less, what did you put in it?
What was that again?
A hole.
Ah.
Fifth graders could have got
Never
that.
been good at riddles.
No, you have not. You guys were awful at every puzzle.
I'm like Amanda Waller in that Suicide Squad animated movie where the Riddler's talking and he's like doing this thing, and Amanda Waller says it the first time. He says, "Oh, you must have heard that one before." She says, "No, I have Google like everyone else."
She's just Googling the answers. Oh, God, I love Amanda Waller. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But yeah, the book itself has some really good art, but when you get to the back where it shows you the magic weapons and the D&D creature stat blocks, all that art is regular D&D art, and I think that art should have been more Rick and Morty stylized art.
Yeah, but we also don't know what the budget was for this. They already had a lot of original artwork for the actual module itself.
Yeah, the module's full of original art.
And if all they are just stat blocks to run the monsters, don't reinvent the wheel, don't fix what's broken. Most of us won't even see that stuff as players, so what's it matter?
And another thing about it is you're supposed to run it with all 5 of the pre-made characters because it makes references specifically to the characters in Rick's family. So when you guys ran it with characters from the Sunless Citadel, I had to change a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, it keeps referencing them. I had to change what the mini room looked like because the minis were different. I had to change a lot. I had to change a lot of it just to fit regular D&D characters into it. So if you're a DM and you pick this up and you want to run it pure without any changes, you have to get 5 people to play it. And it takes them from 1 to 3. But they were already level 3 after the Sunless Citadel, so I just let them do the whole thing level 3 and gave them a level at the end.
Yeah.
That was easier since they were all already level 3, which kind of made the beginning of it kind of easy for them since they were a little higher level. But in the end, it worked out because the Green Dragon was kicking your butt.
Yeah, we just barely beat that thing.
But you did beat it.
Mm-hmm.
It was within your CR. At least the way I understand CR.
Yeah, well, CR is broken anyway. 5th edition does a lot of good things. Like I've never played third and a half edition, but from what I heard, 5th edition is a callback to it. They just made it simpler for new players. But the CR system is broken.
Yeah, most of my experience is for 3.5, and I have no Dungeon Master experience for 3.5, so I don't know how it was done then.
Yeah, like you've got some monsters that are like CR 1 and 2, but they have a special ability where if they catch the players just right, they can one-hit KO them. No. They've got some monsters that are like the size of houses, but because they're either dumb or slow, that their CR is like 4. And I'm like, if something that big steps on you, I don't care how many hit points you have. No. No. You're dumb. You're broken.
I mean, the Queen of the Hill Giants is a CR5.
That's my problem. Like, literally, the only reason why the Queen of the Hill Giants is only a CR5 is because she can't move.
Yeah, she can't even turn.
If she could move, God help you.
All you got to do is all 3 of them go behind her and just start hitting her, which is why you need to put her up against a wall when you're running something with her in it. Storm King's Thunder. That's what it is. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on the Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty box set as a whole?
Very, very fun. As someone who is a big fan of Rick and Morty, I love the Easter eggs and the references. I feel like if you're looking at someone who is new to the show, not necessarily the game, it'd be a little bit confusing or you wouldn't get all the stuff. Kind of wish that it wasn't so niche, I guess, with the pre-made characters, because like you said, a lot of the rooms and stuff are conformed to those characters. I think that if you want to run it like we did, where we have some homebrew characters or custom characters that,
Just regular characters.
yeah,
Not really homebrew, just regular.
yeah, don't make it so niche. So it's very, very fun. I do have a few nitpicks, but they're very personal, unimportant nitpicks.
Yeah, so this thing would be almost impossible to work into your regular campaign, but we did it.
Well, I think it worked because you went with the Rick and Morty multiverse, because we played with G's and Connor's characters from our favorite campaign setting, and then you pulled in Bork, who is a barbarian character from, I don't even know what universe your campaigns are in.
Yeah, I basically made it so it was like one of Rick's experiments, where you were like Rick's portals just appeared under you and you fell into it, and then Spork, Dex saved out of it since we didn't have a fourth player so he wasn't running around with Bork.
Yeah, and Bork kept asking all the other goblins, "You seen another goblin named Spork? Has anyone seen Spork?" My Stan was like, "Who the heck is Spork?
Yeah.
Are you missing your eating utensil?" No, he's my friend.
There is an episode of the podcast on Bork and Spork, which are some fun things we had when we were doing the Velocipaster playtest. Velocipaster campaign playtest. But yeah, if you're a Rick and Morty fan who wants to get into Dungeons and Dragons or is even already playing Dungeons and Dragons, it's probably a must get. If you've never watched Rick and Morty, just don't play it. You probably need to watch through season 2 before you play this, right, is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe season 3 because Pickle Rick. If you watch through season 2 and then the Pickle Rick episode, you're good to go.
Yeah, you would know more about the rooms that we didn't explore, so I'll leave that up to where you need to watch the series.
Yeah, because I read all the rooms and everything, and the worst part was having to make the changes for you guys to fit it into a regular Faerun's Forgotten Realms, whatever it's called, campaign.
Yeah,
that was the only real difficult part. Running it was fairly easy because each room doesn't have terribly much in it. You guys walked past a lot of healing potions. You guys just walked past a ton of them. So that's not super cool. But you did well on traps. That was good though. You did very well on traps.
Oh, what was that room that we were in that had like all the spiders that gave us notes, and we were all told to act a certain way towards this? Was it a head in the middle of the room?
That room was a bad trip, and I remember Connor was metagaming through that whole room because he didn't want to risk a hit point.
How was he metagaming? He had never seen that room up until that point.
No, he was metagaming because he got the command to protect the head at all costs, and then he wouldn't do it because he knew it would get him in a fight with G's character Maya Stan, and he didn't want to lose any hit points to Maya Stan. So he was just like, my character says no, don't do it, and I'm like, remember, because I had to get onto him a little bit.
Yeah, like me, but my character Bork and G's Maya Stan, we actually did get into a confrontation. I kept trying to grapple him.
Yeah.
To like not do stuff.
Yeah, that was.
He's like, "Don't you do it? I'm gonna do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it."
Yeah, that was a weird room. Very weird room. But yeah, as a whole, it's fun, but
it's not for everybody.
Yeah, if you have to have seen at least 2 seasons of Rick and Morty to just understand it. But that's probably it for today. A few minutes short, but I don't mind so much. We've had a lot of shorter episodes recently. Just because next episode is Monopoly Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Monopoly Fallout. And we'll try to get that to you very soon. I also added the YouTube channel into the description. So if you want to check out our YouTube channel where we do lots of gaming videos there. You can do that. We also upload Tabletop Recap on the YouTube channel, B3 Productions, but it doesn't go up until after Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everything. So definitely listen to it on an audio format podcast place if you haven't already. The YouTube versions are mostly just advertisement to find more viewers. Because I get paid for the Spotify and stuff, and I don't get paid for the YouTube ones. So...
Yeah, YouTube likes to hold on to their money.
But if you want to send us any of your tabletop gaming stories, you can send them to at B3 Podcasts at B3 Podcasts on Twitter. The 3 is numeric, so at B the number 3. No, it's B3 Productions. Hold on, B3 Productions on Twitter. At B3 Productions on Twitter. It's at B3 Podcasts. Gmail. Sorry, I'm tripping up. We've had a few stories sent in, and we already did them all. I did some Call of Cthulhu stories in an episode. Some people sent all fun stuff. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe yet again, and we'll see you all next time when we do Monopoly Fallout.
Bye.